The energy circled you first, before anyone did. Capricorn, this isn't just a reading. It's a surveillance report. On you. Someone or something has been tracking your energy. Not in the way most people imagine, not through obvious moves or loud drama. No. Because when the universe tests a Capricorn, it does so in silence. In patterns. In symbols. Maybe you didn't notice it at first. Or maybe, deep down, you did. A car, unfamiliar. Not once. Not twice. 4 times. Circling. Returning. Watching. Not honking. Not stopping. Just observing. You felt it. In your spine. That cold flicker. That strange pause when locking your front door. That question lingering in the air, why do I feel like something's off? And here's the truth. It wasn't just a vehicle. It was an energy signature. A signal. A mirror to what's happening behind the veil in the spiritual realm around your life. This was an omen. Not of fear, but of awareness. A cosmic alert that someone, somewhere, has crossed an energetic line. And Capricorn, the sign of boundaries, order, legacy, you felt it the moment it happened. Because you don't miss shifts in vibration. You don't ignore repeated patterns. Even when the world says, it's probably nothing, your soul whispers, no, it's everything. And that whisper, that sacred instinct, that's what brought you here. So if your peace has felt disturbed, if your finances have felt strangely blocked, if your trust in certain people has begun to quietly crumble, know this. You're not being paranoid. You're being prepared. This isn't about superstition. It's about spiritual intelligence. And today, Capricorn, we're going to decode what that car truly meant and why the universe has chosen you, now, to uncover the betrayal and reclaim your unshakable power. Welcome to the truth they didn't want you to see. But your soul already knew. Part 1. The Silent Intrusion. Capricorn, before a betrayal ever reaches your ears, it first brushes against your energy. Before someone speaks behind your back, they hesitate in your presence. Before they break your trust, they flinch when you speak your truth. These moments, you've felt them even if you couldn't explain them. That strange exhaustion after visiting someone's home. That tension in the air when a certain name is mentioned. That sudden impulse to double-check the lock on your door. These are not coincidences. You see, Capricorn, your spirit doesn't wait for evidence. It knows before proof. And what you've felt lately, that tightness in your chest, that irritation with no clear cause, it isn't stress. It's surveillance. An energetic kind. The kind that doesn't come with cameras, but with intentions. Someone has been watching you. Not always with eyes. Sometimes with envy. Sometimes with resentment. Sometimes with curiosity so dark it turns into obsession. They don't always realize they're doing it. But their thoughts linger. Their energy follows you home. Their silent jealousy finds a way to knock on your door. Even if they never pick up the phone. And the universe, it doesn't let that slide. That's why it gave you a sign you couldn't ignore. A car that circled your home 4 times. Not parked. Not passing through. Circling. In a loop. A ritual of sorts. An energetic loop mimicking the internal cycle of someone obsessed with your stability. And they don't want what you have. They want what makes you unshakable. And Capricorn, what makes you unshakable is this. You don't collapse. You reorganize. You observe in silence. You rebuild and you make the foundation harder to reach. But here's the truth no one tells you. Even the strongest fortress needs a watchtower. That car circling you, it wasn't about fear. It was about timing. The universe saying, look again. Someone is watching. And it's time you watch back with your third eye open. So ask yourself, who have you been doubting lately, quietly? Who's been acting a little too interested in your life, but not in your joy? Who went cold when you started glowing? These aren't questions for paranoia. They're questions for discernment, one of Capricorn's greatest gifts. Because from this point forward, it's not about hiding your energy. It's about understanding who has been trying to steal it. And in the next part, will decode the real-world signs that this energy, this surveillance, has already leaked into your space, your finances, your focus. This was just the beginning. Life Lesson, Part 1. The Silent Intrusion. Capricorn, your body feels what your mind hasn't processed yet. Your intuition is the first alarm system the universe gives you, and it never malfunctions. In a world obsessed with proof, you were gifted with perception. You don't need 10 red flags. One shift in energy is enough, and that's not paranoia, that's spiritual intelligence. The lesson here is this: just because someone doesn't say it, doesn't mean their energy isn't screaming it. And you, Capricorn, were never meant to ignore those whispers. When your peace feels disturbed, honor it. When your space feels heavy, cleanse it. When a presence lingers too long, release it even if it never said a word. Your spirit is older than their intentions. And your intuition. That's the only warning you'll ever need if you're brave enough to believe it. Part 2. Signs in the physical world. Capricorn, energy always enters before events unfold. But eventually, the spiritual shows up in the physical. And that's when your life starts to whisper, sometimes scream, that something is wrong. Have you noticed it? Your finances, stuck. That promotion, delayed, without explanation. Random tension with people you've always flowed with. Feeling drained after talking to certain friends or family. You clean your house. You organize your schedule. You even double down on your work ethic, because that's what Capricorns do. But somehow, things still don't click. That's not failure. That's interference. You see, when someone focuses negative energy on you, even passively, it can create subtle spiritual blocks that ripple into your physical reality. These aren't dramatic curses. They're like energetic dust. A slow buildup that clouds your aura and slows your progress. It's why your sleep might have shifted lately. Why your dreams feel chaotic. Why you wake up feeling tired even when you slept 8 hours. These are not just mood swings. They're alerts. And Capricorn, you don't like to talk about energy. You like facts. You like data. You like evidence. So let's look at your real-world evidence. Were you recently overlooked despite working the hardest? Has a minor conflict turned unreasonably cold? Did someone close to you stop celebrating your wins? These are manifestations. The energetic fingerprints left behind by someone whose intentions are no longer aligned with your growth. And that circling car, it wasn't just a metaphor, it was a confirmation that the energy has already crossed into your physical life. And it's time to clean house. Not with sage and salt only, but with clarity, with distance, with boundaries. You're not paranoid. You're being spiritually notified by a universe that loves you enough to warn you. Life Lesson, Part 2. When signs become real. When things stop flowing, don't force them. Feel them. Observe them. Ask yourself, is this resistance, or is it reflection? Capricorn, life doesn't block you without reason. It reflects the energy surrounding you. And sometimes, it's not you who's out of alignment. It's the presence of someone else that's throwing your field off center. The lesson here is, trust the slowdown. When doors close, when plans stall, when energy drags, don't panic. Pause. Scan the field. Most of the time, the universe is helping you see who shouldn't be walking into the next chapter with you. And the discomfort. That's your clarity knocking. Part 3. Energetic surveillance. Capricorn, not all surveillance comes with cameras. Some comes in the form of thoughts, obsessions, jealousy, energetic fixation. You may not see them near you. They may not call. They may not even speak your name aloud anymore. But in the quiet corners of their mind, you're still there. And when someone keeps thinking about you with resentment, envy, or hunger for what you've built, that energy travels. You feel it in small moments. When your focus slips. When you suddenly doubt your own decisions. When your usual groundedness feels foggy. Capricorn, you are the architect of discipline. You don't sway easily. So when your clarity gets shaken, that's a sign someone is sending ripples. Think about it. Why now? Why, when you've begun to grow more stable, Does discomfort reappear? Because someone, knowingly or not, is pulling on your energetic threads. Maybe it's an ex-lover who hasn't moved on. Maybe it's a friend turned competitor watching your rise in silence. Maybe it's family who feel left behind and resent your boundaries. They don't have to curse you. They just have to focus on you with the wrong intent. And here's what makes Capricorn unique. Your energy field is so strong, so steady, that when someone tries to distort it, the tension is immediate. It's like trying to bend a steel beam. It won't move easily, but it might begin to hum. That hum, you've been hearing it, feeling it, and mistaking it for fatigue. But now you know. Someone has been watching you, not physically, energetically, waiting, wanting access. And when the universe showed you that car circling, it was confirming what your intuition already knew. They're still around, even when they're not. Life lesson, part 3. Protecting your energy starts with believing it's real. The eyes don't have to see you to send energy, and people don't have to speak to still affect you. Capricorn, you must remember. Focus is a force. Intention is an invitation. Obsession is a cord. And just as you carefully guard your time, your money, your space, you must now guard your energy. Not everything that weighs you down is yours to carry. Sometimes, what you're feeling is what someone else is projecting. The lesson is this: discern what's truly yours, and release what was never yours to begin with. Part 4. The betrayal from within. Capricorn, there are many forms of betrayal, but the deepest, it doesn't come from a stranger. It comes from someone who once sat at your table. You're loyal, quietly generous. When someone needs support, you don't shout it, you show up. You loan them money. You help them move. You listen to them break down in the dark. And you don't expect praise. You expect peace. But lately, you haven't had that, have you? Something feels off. And the truth is beginning to crystallize. The person draining you is someone you once uplifted. It might be subtle, a comment here, a strange distance there. But now, you see it for what it is. They haven't been cheering for you. They've been studying you, measuring your progress, and quietly resenting it. It's hard for people to watch a Capricorn rise. Not because you're flashy, but because your growth is earned. Steady. Real. And to someone who still feels lost, that's intimidating. So they begin to chip away. Not with violence, but with silence. They stop replying to your wins. They subtly compete. They question your instincts in ways that make you doubt yourself. Capricorn, this is spiritual warfare wrapped in emotional familiarity. And the worst part, you still care about them. You still want to believe they mean well. But the signs are undeniable now. That car didn't circle because a stranger is obsessed. It circled because someone close is still energetically attached to your life. Not to support you, but to monitor what they feel entitled to. This is the bitter medicine. The person who resents your light is the very one who once asked you to shine it on them. And the question now isn't why would they do this? The real question is, why are you still giving them the benefit of the doubt at the cost of your peace? Life lesson, part 4, loyalty is sacred, but so are you. Capricorn, loyalty is powerful. But when it's pointed at the wrong person, it becomes self-betrayal. Not everyone you help will heal. Some will harvest your light and blame you when it grows them faster than they can handle. The lesson is this: your heart can forgive, but your energy must be protected. You can release someone in love and still never give them access again. Being a good person doesn't mean allowing repeated harm. And remembering who someone was doesn't erase who they became. You are allowed to choose peace even if it means walking away from a shared past. Part 5. The emotional fallout. Capricorn, you don't fall apart like others do. You don't scream. You don't post. You don't beg for closure. You go silent. And in that silence, your soul begins its work. But just because you're calm doesn't mean you're unaffected. In fact, your silence often holds more pain than words ever could. And this time, that pain cuts deep. Because this wasn't just a betrayal. It was a breach of sacred trust. You shared space, energy, memories, vulnerability. You offered them a seat at your table, and they used that position to drain you in the shadows. Now, the air feels heavier. Not because you're weak, but because a truth you never wanted to face has finally revealed itself. And when a Capricorn feels this kind of hurt, it's not just emotional. It's structural. It shakes the foundations of how you evaluate people. It makes you question your own discernment. And worst of all, it creates a hesitation to trust again. But here's the beauty of your pain, Capricorn. It always leads to clarity. You may be shattered inside for a moment, but you never stay broken. You gather the pieces sharper now and rebuild yourself into something no one can manipulate again. Your heart may be bruised, but it's not bleeding out. Your spirit may be tired, but it's not surrendering. You are enduring, recalibrating, quietly preparing for the next version of yourself. Because Capricorn doesn't break down, you break through. Life Lesson, Part 5. Your pain has purpose. Pain doesn't make you smaller, Capricorn. It sharpens your vision. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next season. Some were only meant to show you what no longer fits. And yes, endings hurt. Especially the quiet ones. But behind every betrayal is a message. You've outgrown this level of connection. The lesson here is, honor your grief, but don't let it become your prison. Your heart was made to feel, not to close forever. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to feel it all. But never forget. Your next chapter begins the moment you decide you're done repeating the last one. Part 6. The protection around you. Capricorn, you've been so strong for so long, you've forgotten what divine protection actually feels like. You assume survival is up to you. You handle, you endure, you manage. But what if I told you? You've never actually walked alone. That the car circling your home wasn't just a warning. It was a signal. A cosmic flare, activating every ancestral guardian, every spiritual ally that watches over your bloodline, your purpose, your soul contract. And they answered. Not with noise, but with presence. Some of you have noticed the lights flicker at odd moments. Some have heard whispers in your sleep. Some have just felt it, like a warmth pressing gently on your back when no one was there. That wasn't your imagination. That was your lineage. Your grandmother's prayers. Your father's silent sacrifices. Your ancestors, some of whom you've never met, standing firm behind you. And among them, one figure rises tallest. Archangel Michael, the sword bearer, the protector of those chosen to build sacred legacy. His wings don't block energy. They slice through it. When betrayal surrounds you, he arrives. When energetic cords linger, he cuts them. When watchers circle, he blinds them. But Capricorn, this isn't passive protection. You must participate. You must claim your shield. Speak out loud. I am protected. I do not consent to energetic invasion. I call back all power that is mine. Every time you say those words, you're not just speaking. You're commanding. The universe doesn't respond to weakness. It responds to sovereignty. And right now, Capricorn, your spiritual team is at full alert. Ready to act the moment you stop second-guessing and stand in your authority. Life Lesson, Part 6. Power is protected, but only if you claim it. You are never alone, Capricorn. But even your angels wait for your permission to act. Divine protection isn't something you earn. It's something you allow. You are supported by forces far older, wiser, and stronger than anything trying to drain you. But they move only when you say, I'm ready to let go of who hurt me, and rise into who I'm meant to become. The lesson is this. You are powerful, but you're even more powerful when you remember you are also watched over. You don't have to carry this alone. You never did. Part 7. Reclaiming Power. Capricorn, strength isn't always loud. And power, it's not always public. Sometimes, the most powerful act you'll ever make happens in silence, with intention, with spirit. You've seen the signs. You've felt the drain. You've named the betrayal. Now it's time to take your energy back. Not through revenge, not through confrontation, but through something far more permanent, ritual. Go to a quiet space. A place that feels like you. Your room. Your garden. Your car. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Feel everything you've given away, time, emotion, loyalty, overthinking, return to the surface. And now, speak this aloud. I now call back all energy that is mine across all time, space, and dimension. I cut every cord that was formed without love or respect. I do not consent to being observed, drained, or manipulated. I am sovereign. I am sealed. I am restored. Say it 3 times. Slowly. With your full voice. With your whole heart. And as you speak, imagine the cords breaking like threads snapping in golden light. Imagine your energy returning to you in waves. Your field brightening, strengthening, expanding. This isn't just imagination. This is command. This is the moment your energetic shield reforms, but sharper, stronger, wiser than ever before. And Capricorn, you don't need candles or crystals to make this real. You only need belief, intention, ownership. The ones who tried to cling to you spiritually, they'll feel the shift. They may reach out. They may even panic. But their reaction is not your responsibility. Your peace is. You've done enough for others. Now, do this for yourself. Life Lesson, Part 7. Power isn't taken. It's reclaimed. Capricorn, no one can truly steal your energy. But they can borrow it, if you leave the door cracked. And for too long, you've left that door open out of habit. Out of guilt. Out of love. The truth is, you don't owe access to anyone who hasn't earned your trust. Your spirit was built for legacy, not for leeches. And your destiny, it needs all of you, not the version of you left hollow by silent attachments. The lesson is simple. Your power returns the moment you say, "That's enough." And today, you said it. Part 8. The final test. Capricorn, the moment you reclaim your energy, something interesting happens. The silence shifts. The air feels lighter. Your mind becomes clearer. But just as you begin to rise, the past knocks one last time. Not as a threat, not as chaos, but as something far more dangerous. A disguised memory, a soft voice, a familiar face. It's the one who once drained you, now wearing the mask of regret. "Hey, I was thinking about you. I miss our connection. Let's talk, I've changed." And a part of you, Capricorn, might pause. Because you still remember the good. You still wonder, what if it wasn't all bad? But hear this clearly. Healing doesn't always mean reconnecting. Just because someone finally sees your value, doesn't mean they deserve access to it. This moment, it's not a reunion. It's a test. A test of your boundaries, your evolution, your new identity. The universe is asking you, are you truly done with this cycle, or just waiting to feel strong enough to try again? Capricorn, let's be honest, you don't hate anyone. You're not holding on to rage, but you are holding on to patterns. And this person, this energy, this offer, is the final remnant of an old version of you, the one who tolerated too much. You've outgrown this dynamic. You've learned the lesson. Now you must walk away not with anger, but with certainty. Because letting someone go doesn't mean you wish them harm. It means you finally wish yourself peace. Life Lesson, Part 8. The universe always sends a final test before a breakthrough. Capricorn, the ones who return aren't always meant to stay. Sometimes, they return so you can prove to yourself you've changed. Your strength isn't in fighting back. It's in not answering the knock. You've already done the work. You've already reclaimed your energy. And now, you don't owe anyone access to the healed version of you. The lesson here is powerful. The new you deserves new relationships, new opportunities, and new energy. And if the past can't meet you where you are now, it can't come with you. Conclusion, the final ascent. Your peace was never meant to be shared with those who envied it. Capricorn, look at what you've just walked through. Not with rage, not with chaos, but with clarity, with grounded strength, with sacred discernment. You were energetically observed, but you sensed it. You were quietly betrayed, but you survived it. You faced the heaviness, and instead of breaking, you transmuted it. That isn't just resilience. That's mastery. Because you don't explode, you evolve. You don't need to be loud, your silence shakes foundations. Yes, someone circled your life with the intent to disrupt. But what they couldn't see was this. The universe circled you first, with divine protection, with ancestral strength, and with purpose. Now you stand here, not as someone harmed, but as someone awakened. The Capricorn who no longer negotiates with guilt. The Capricorn who values peace over performance. The Capricorn who knows that your energy is a sacred economy and not everyone can afford access. You owe no one a reaction. You owe no one a reopening of your gates. What you owe is to yourself. And what your higher self is saying now is this. I made it through and I will never go back. Let them whisper. Let them watch. What they sense isn't your weakness. It's your elevation. And that can't be touched. Life lesson, the legacy of a tested Capricorn. Capricorn, sometimes betrayal isn't the enemy, it's the revelation. Not everyone who sits at your table is meant to eat with you long term. What hurts now is what clears the way later. And the pain you felt was the sharp edge of growth. You've seen the mask fall. You've heard the silence behind the smile. And still, you chose your healing over their validation. That is spiritual success. That is emotional leadership. That is Capricorn. Call to action, for the true Capricorns who are done shrinking. If this video shook something inside you, that's not coincidence. That's your higher self responding. So now it's your turn. To protect what you've built. To defend what you've grown. And to keep walking forward even if you walk alone for a while. Subscribe to Zodiac Secrets Revealed. Because from this point on, you're not watching astrology. You're living it. And the universe, it's already preparing your next chapter.